Alright, so this is lesson 4 for module 6, and it says to write a repeated addition equation to find the total of each tape diagram. So we'll start off with just the first problem, of course. And it looks like we've got our little groups here, just like this, and so each of these groups has 2 in it. So of course I would come down here and I'd say, okay, so there are 2, 2, 2, and 2, and then all together that would equal 8, because I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8 right down here, okay? So taking a look at this right here, it says 4 groups of 2 is equal to, and we would just put the 8 right there, because that's the total that we had. Alright, moving on to problem B. It would be exactly the same. You would just count up how many are in each of these, and then how many groups we have, and then put that information down here, then find the total, put that over here, then fill this in. Okay, so go ahead and pause and take care of that. Alright, so as you can see, we've moved from the pictures to numbers in problem C, so we just have groups of 5, okay? So you would simply just take that number and move it down here, and then of course fill in the other blanks as well as the total. So this would be 5 plus 5 plus 5 more. And then come down here, and obviously we have 3 groups of blank is equal to blank, so this right here is going to be the total as well. So go ahead and pause and try this one on your own. Alright, so the next problem is pretty much identical, just a different number is all. So we would take our group number, put it in the blanks, find the total down here, and then we have to fill in how many groups there are, how many are in each group, and the total right here. So go ahead and do this one on your own as well. Alright, so moving on, it says to draw a tape diagram to find the total. So we're actually going to have to draw our own right down here. So how I'm going to start is I'm going to go, okay, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of 3. So let's go ahead and set this up. So I went ahead and drew my long box. Now I need to have 4 boxes within here. So I'm going to put in 3 vertical lines so that I get my 4 boxes. Now I'm just going to put my numbers in each group. And so you can see that this looks exactly like what we did in the earlier problems. The only difference is that we have to draw it ourselves. So each of those 3's goes into one of the boxes. And so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I know that this is going to come out to 12, okay? Moving on to problem B. This is going to be exactly the same. I'm going to go ahead and set up this box for you, just to give you a little bit of help. Now you need to take these numbers up here, put them into the boxes, and then find the total. Alright? So go ahead and pause and give that a shot. Moving on to problem C, we have 5 groups of 2. So you would simply draw your tape diagram just like this, make sure that you have 5 groups in this tape diagram, okay? And then put the number 2 in each group, and then I would just put the total down here. So you'll want to also write down your repeated addition equation. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 groups, and then just put your total right here. Alright, so this problem D is going to be exactly the same, except it's only 4 groups. So let's go ahead and get our box drawn. And then what you need to do is you need to put the numbers into the boxes, as well as do the repeated addition down here. Don't forget to give your total over here at the end. So go ahead and pause and do that real quick. Alright, so this problem is a little bit different, problem E, and you can see that instead of numbers we have drawings to work with. So it looks like we have 3 groups of 5. So I would come down here and make your tape diagram just like that. Make sure that you have 3 groups in there, and then put 5 in each group. Then come down here and do your repeated addition. Alright, so we have moved on to the homework. So if you're in Mr. K's class right now, what you need to do is you need to pause, head back to your desk, and finish any of the problem set that you haven't finished yet. If you are at home, go ahead, keep watching. This will help you with the homework if you need that, okay? So what this says to do is to write a repeated addition equation to find the total of each tape diagram. So just like what we did on the problem set, what you would do is you'd come in here, you'd figure out how many objects are in each box, and you would simply come down here and write this in the blank. And then obviously we do have 4 groups, so you have 1, 2, 3, and 4. So you would say 4 groups of 3 is equal to blank, and you would put the total number of objects in this blank right here. The same goes for the next problem. So if you need to pause to catch up, go ahead and do that. So for this problem, it looks like we have, of course, 5 in each group. So you would take that, you'd put it in here, and you would add them all up and find the total down here. And then we have 5 groups of blank, so this is how many are in each group, equals blank, and so this is the total over here. So same concept with problem C, except instead of pictures we have numbers. So you would simply take the number, plug it into the space, and find the total over here, and then of course 4 groups of blank, so this is the number in each space, is equal to blank, and this is the total when you add all of this up. So the same goes for problem D. It's very similar, just a slightly different number, of course. So you would take that, put it into the blanks, then find the total after you add it all up. And then you would come down here, and this is how many groups there are. This is how many are in each group, and then this is the total. Of course, right here on number 2, it says to draw a tape diagram to find the total. So it looks like we've got 4 groups of 5. So I would simply come in here and make a tape diagram with 4 groups. Then I would go back and I'd put 5 in each group. just like this. Then I'd write my repeated addition equation as well. And then figure out the total there, which is going to be the same thing as right here. And we find that by simply adding up all of this. The same goes for problem B, except we have 5 groups instead. So I would simply come down here and make sure that you make 5 groups. So let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, just like that. Then do your repeated addition down here and fill in the blanks. For problem C, it doesn't even give us any of the numbers, really. It just says we have 4 groups of 2, so it looks like you're kind of on your own. So I would create a tape diagram with 4 boxes. I would put 2 in each box, and I would do my repeated addition down here. And really, on these 2 problems up here, if you wanted to go ahead and use this line as your repeated addition, that would be fine. So if you didn't want to do this right here, then I guess you really don't have to. Just make sure that you're doing the repeated addition. And the same would go for right here. So if you'd rather just use that, go for it. Alright, so let's go ahead and take a look at these last few problems. So we have, we just took care of that one. So we have 5 groups of 3, so this one would be exactly the same as the last one that we did. You would just draw a tape diagram. You make sure that it has 5 groups, and that the number 3 is in each group. And then do the repeated addition down here. For problem E, it'd be pretty much the same. I would start by making little groups out of this. So it looks like, of course, we have 2 groups of 4. So make your tape diagram and then do your repeated addition. So hopefully this video has cleared up any confusion you may have had, and we will see you tomorrow.